God, it's going to be a weird season. I just know it. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where I talk about the NWSL, women's soccer, just soccer, only soccer. So I guess this is a part 2 to the video I did discussing the Portland Thorns controversial signing of USF forward Sydney Nasello. If you didn't see that video, I'll leave a link in the description below so that you can watch it after this video. In this video though, as you can tell from the title, I'll be discussing another controversial signing or re-signing by the North Carolina Courage. And at the end, I'll be sharing my own story of having to deal with a homophobic teammate. Stick around for that, it's a doozy, but let's get into it. So after the Portland Thorns signed USF forward Sydney Nasello, a few days later, the North Carolina Courage came out and said they were re-signing Jaelene Hinkle, now known as Jaelene Daniels because she got married. She originally retired in 2020, but then she announced that she was coming out of retirement, and so the Courage just signed her. Courage fans and NWSL fans weren't happy about this signing. The reason being is because Jaelene Daniels is outwardly and openly homophobic. When gay marriage was made legal across all 50 states, Jaelene was very much against it and posted about being against it on her Instagram. Jaelene would also turn down a call-up to the U.S. Women's National Team because she refused to wear the U.S. Women's National Team jersey that had the rainbow name and numbers on the back in honor of Pride Month. Courage fans weren't happy about her return to the North Carolina Courage, and they voiced their disappointment and disgust to the team. As for the players on the Courage, some of them welcomed Jaelene back, but others remained quiet. The Courage released an apology which basically said they understood why fans were upset, but they promised they would continue to sell Pride merchandise during Pride Month, donate money to Pride organizations, didn't say which ones, and players would still wear jerseys with the rainbow names and numbers during Pride Month. I mean, they may as well wear those Pride jerseys for the whole season because this screw-up is over the rainbow, much like the mispoint of why fans are so upset. So all jokes aside, yeah, fans are not happy with the apology because, as I said earlier, it completely misses the point of why fans are upset and disappointed. Here's the thing, the North Carolina Courage knowingly signed a player who is openly and outwardly homophobic. This isn't something that was hidden or found out later. Everyone who follows the NWSL, the Courage, the U.S. Women's National Team, knew about her and how she felt towards the LGBT community. The Courage completely misses the point because you can't have it both ways. You can't be supportive of the LGBT community. You can't say you're an ally to the LGBT community and then contradict yourselves by signing and defending a homophobic player. Honestly, that's kind of like saying, I believe in and support racial equality, but I'm also a white nationalist and I think we should support the KKK. Like what? If you think that sounds ridiculous and insane, it's because it is, and it makes no sense at all. This is something where you can't have it both ways. The North Carolina Courage think that if they continue to sell Pride merchandise during Pride Month, it'll make up for them signing Jaelene Daniels. Honestly, it's not about selling merchandise with rainbows. It's not about selling Pride merchandise. It's not even about dressing players in Pride jerseys or Pride shirts. The LGBT community can care less if you change your logo to the rainbow logo or sell Pride merchandise. What matters is what you're doing to help the LGBT community, your actions that show you respect and care about the community, what you're doing to make LGBT people feel safe and heard, because for the longest time, there weren't many places where LGBT people felt safe and heard. Let's look at the Orlando Pride, for example. The Orlando Pride is a staunch supporter of the LGBT community, and I know that and believe that for a fact. During the 2021 season, during Pride Month, Orlando Pride players went to a memorial to remember those who were killed in the Pulse nightclub shooting, where 49 people lost their lives. Seeing the Orlando Pride and the Pride players going to the memorial and later doing a procession was beautiful, and it made me realize the Orlando Pride really does honor, respect, and care about the LGBT community. When they say they support the LGBT community, they genuinely do care. Which is awesome. However, when it comes to the North Carolina Courage, signing a player who is openly homophobic is a slap in the face and shows a complete disregard to fans, supporters, and the LGBT community. I've even seen Courage fans say they felt betrayed by the re-signing of Jaelene Daniels, and some of them said they would rather support the Washington Spirit, which is fine, I guess, considering Steve Baldwin is being pressured to sell the team to Michelle King. Anyway, I don't think the Spirit and Courage are big rivals, especially when compared to the OL Reign and Portland Thorns rivalry, but that's besides the point. Anyway, yeah, it's very disappointing, and I understand why Courage fans are frustrated by this. I don't think there's anything else I can say to make this situation better. I guess an upside is players on the Courage like Lynn Williams are going to stick up for LGBT people. I remember Sam Mewis and Lynn Williams saying in a podcast they wish they could have done more to speak up for the LGBT community. And then Lynn Williams said she is going to do more. Sam Mewis may no longer be at the Courage, but Lynn Williams will be there. And I think the thing to remember is what the North Carolina Courage had done by signing Jaelene Daniels does not reflect the views of every single Courage player. The North Carolina Courage has put these players in a very awkward position. There's a lot that we're not seeing. There are things the players can't talk about. Behind the scenes, though, I can only guess things are going to get hashed out in the locker room before the season starts. Discussions are going to be had and boundaries are going to be set and established. So, as someone who has had homophobic teammates in the past, it sucks. It's just more unnecessary BS to deal with. It's like, I'm here to play and win games, not listen to you whine and complain about how you can't take a shower because our lesbian/gay teammates are going to check you out in the shower. Like, girl, please, get over yourself. We may be gay, but come on, we got standards. Also, no one is checking you out in the shower, and if they are, it's probably our straight teammates. Yeah, so that probably wasn't the worst one. The worst homophobic teammate/teammate in general that I had was a homophobic and fatphobic wannabe Marine. Yeah, I know, there's a lot to unpack with that sentence, but honestly, she was the worst. I'll even go as far to say she was worse than Jaelene Daniels. Alright, so this is going to be a doozy. I met this girl at my first university. I was only there for a year before transferring to a better college. I thought this girl was cool and nice, but I liked her. I thought she was really friendly. She was very open to me and the team. But yeah, anyway, I reached out to her on Facebook one night because I wanted to talk about a book. I think it was for a paper I was writing. But yeah, so I sent her a message to talk, and I don't know where this even came from because it was out of nowhere. Like, completely out of left field. She went on this long and homophobic and fatphobic rant against me and the girls at our school. She called us dog girls or dog women. Yeah, I don't know. She then went on to say that I gave lesbians a bad name, which I found funny because I didn't even know if I was gay at the time. Bisexual, maybe. Gay, not sure. She said I was only into women because men didn't find me attractive. She said, and this is the most insane thing I've heard, she said my confidence was too high for me to think I could even approach her. Like, bro, I was just about to ask you about a book. She said I had no respect and I need to learn to respect her and know my place. There was more, but I remember trying to respond and she just blocked me. At the end of her rant, she said she wasn't homophobic. I showed her messages to a few people, even a stranger, and they were all like, yeah, she is homophobic. Anyway, this girl was just miserable and god-awful, talking about how she needed to be respected when she wasn't even in the Marines yet. If she did join the Marines, I feel sorry for them because she would give the Marine Corps a bad name with this self-entitled, over-inflated sense of self-importance. I probably should have reported her, but I didn't really see the point. Like, I wasn't coming back to the school, and I didn't think the school would care because we were adults. And yeah, I felt like nothing would get done if I was to report her. So yeah, that was my experience dealing with a homophobic teammate. This is probably like 9 years ago. At the time, she hit me right in the self-esteem and self-confidence. Today, unfortunately for her, my confidence is still too high, and even though I may not be the best lesbian in the world, I'm still doing my gay-ass part, whatever that is. I have nothing against her. It's been 9 years. I believe in growth and change. I believe some people can change for the better. I'm looking at you, Sydney Nasello of the Portland Thorns. Maybe and hopefully our wannabe Marine friend did change, because all this homophobia, this fat phobia, the insecurity, yeah, it's not a good look for you. It kind of makes you look like a real douche canoe, just saying. Anyway, going back to the North Carolina Courage, I do feel sorry for the fans who feel betrayed by their team. I feel sorry for the players who are now put in this awkward or weird position. Anyway, I want to end this saying, because I forgot to say it in my last video, do not send any hateful or threatening messages to Jaelene Daniels, Sydney Nasello, the North Carolina Courage, the Portland Thorns, or any of their players. No matter what anyone does on these teams, threatening harm or doing harm to others is something I will never get behind, and it will make you look worse than them. Anyway, that is all I have for you guys today or tonight, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later.